Hi guys. Okay, today I'm going to tell you a story. It seems that you guys love stories, so and this is another true story. Uh, this happened in London. Basically, the story is like somebody attacked me inside the car, and how I defended myself and what happened. And I think you guys know me. You know already what's going to happen. But yeah, I went to pick up my girlfriend at the time. She's a Guyanese lady. She's from, like, the West Indies, kind of West Indies. But she's they look like Indian or Pakistani, like that. If any of you guys know Guyana or Guyanese people, you know what roughly they look like. They look quite nice. Anyway, I went to pick her up, and this area is a horrible area. It's around the Westbourne Park, along Harrow Road, on the Harrow Road, Westbourne Park, in London, Northwest 10. So I went to pick her up, and I was waiting outside, and there was this guy, this black guy, maybe in his 40s, and he looked really rough, a bit of a stubble, tall guy, and he was asking people to jump up and down. So obviously he was asking them for money and then telling them to jump up and down. And if there's any coins or anything like that, he says, "Look, you've got money, give me the money." Yeah, he was asking people for money, they were giving him money. It's like terrorizing them. This happened once to me when I was going to school. I came back from school and there was this big black girl and some other smaller girls, and they asked me for money. I said, "No, I don't have any money." She said, "Jump up and down." So I jumped up and down, and you can hear the coins. So I had to give her, like, I had a few 10p's, like 30p or something, and I gave it to her. I said, "Oh, sorry." And then she took the money. I know the trick. I know. Basically, it's mugging. It's like mugging. Begging for money, and then if you don't get it, it's like terrorizing someone. Anyway, he was telling people, he was asking people for money, and then people left, and I just looked, and I thought, oh, okay. So I picked up, so my, the lady I was with, she sat down in the passenger seat, and I explained to her, this guy, he keeps asking people for money. Bloody hell. I said, be careful, watch yourself when you come out of the house. So as I drove off, he started to walk in front of the car, jaywalking, like walking really coolly and looking at me like that, or looking at the car. And so I sped up. So as I sped up, I just passed him, and I said to him, "The road has to be bigger for you to do that." Something like that. So then I slowed down because I had to go around the corner. Suddenly, there was a crash. You know what he did? He got a dustbin, garbage bin, or a huge dustbin. He smashed it on the back of the car. Not this car. The car that I had was a tiny Metro Ford. Was it Ford Metro? No, not Ford. Anyway, it was a Metro. And I thought, what the hell? This guy's crazy. So I just drove away, round the corner onto the main road. So as I was saying, I drove onto the Harrow Road, and there was traffic. It's called Harrow Road. It's a big road in London, and there was traffic there. So I got stuck in traffic, and suddenly, who comes along? This guy. He's coming along, all pissed off, and I couldn't get out. So I saw him in front of me on my left-hand side, because we drive on the left-hand side. So this is the driver. This is the driver's side, driver's seat, and this is the passenger where my girlfriend was. And so he came on that side, and he had like I'm not sure if it was a metal bar or like some plumbing, like a pipe, a huge pipe. first of all, he kicked the not the passenger side, but the back side, or was it the passenger side? I'm not sure. He left a massive dent of his big foot, and I said, "Hey man, what's wrong? Calm down." And he didn't. I think he was butthurt. He didn't like the fact that I sped up when he was jaywalking. So I thought, okay, all right, that's what he's pissed off about. I said, okay, sorry, man. You know, I thought that's why he's upset, right? But then he said, "You said." So basically, when I said the road has to be bigger, he thought that instead of bigger, you have to add the N letter to the word bigger and take away the B. So, yeah. So he said, "You call me." I said, "No, man, I didn't call you that." And it's just an excuse. Then he started thrusting this thing towards me, thrusting it. I parried it. I kept parrying it. I said, "Hey, man, stop!" And I my hands were open, you know, submissive. I said, "Look, please stop." And I kept parrying it. And let me just tell the end of the story, because I need to use my hands here. Italians, when they talk, they have to use hands. Right. So I was parrying, and this pipe was on my head. Luckily, I don't know how it didn't hit my head, but I can see him in the car, his veins sticking out, scum here in his eyes, like either on drugs or like, I don't know, mental health problem or whatever. But he was a bully. I said, "Please, man, stop." So I kept my hands like this. One hand is here. As I parried, and I tried to stop it, and I should have tried to grab it, but I couldn't. When I saw him coming, I thought there's going to be trouble, and I tried to lock the car, but my hands were nervous. I couldn't lock the car. So that's how he got into the car. And the girl that was with me, she was just like this, in shock. She was just like, she froze, because she's got this nutter in front and then thrusting this thing, and he was basically on top of her like this. So basically she was sitting here, I was here, and he was thrusting this thing. He said, "Mother," well, I'm not going to say it, "Mother F, I'm going to kill you." You know, he had a really deep voice. I said, "Please, man, please." Anybody who knows me at the moment knows that my dynamo is ticking over, and all that energy he's sending me is basically gyrating inside me and gonna, you know what I usually say, you give me fire, I'm gonna give you a nuclear bomb. So I gave him many chances. I said, please, man, stop. I kept parrying, and I kept my hand here, knowing that I can parry it. But the thing is, if the pole went behind me and then he would have hit me here, now that I think about it, or years later, he could have done that. And I just didn't. I was stuck here in the car. I didn't want trouble. I was parrying a few times, and I kept my hands open. I said, "Please, man, I'm sorry." I didn't know what I was saying sorry for. Just to appease him, just to, And basically, I had to. Well, I didn't think about it. So his level of craziness is here. His veins all out, and his voice and scum here, and like that, and yeah, he said, "I'm gonna kill you, MF, mother." And I thought, this guy's been watching too much American TV. You don't say that in England. But so, yeah. And then he said the N-word. "You call me." I said, "I didn't say anything like that." I said, "You liar." That pissed him off even more. So he had to have a reason to beat me up or hurt me, right? Well, the reason was he was jaywalking, and I sped up. And I said, "Hurry up, the road has to be bigger for you to do that," or something like that. It's just an excuse. He's probably just nutty. Anyway, so he smashed me a few times, just missed me. I don't know how he missed me. I just parried a few times. I said, "Please, and he was angry like this. So basically my energy was down here, his energy was up here, right? He continued to give me that energy, and at one point I just flipped. I didn't think, oh, it just happens. It just I just flipped. I had my dad's cane because he's got, you know, like the hook cane, because me and my dad shared the car, the Metro. It was a brown Metro, terrible car. The brakes were terrible. Well, anyway, I took it. I said, sorry. I took it to a certain point, and then it reached that tipping point, and I saw he wasn't stopping. He was angry like that, and I grabbed the cane and I said, the F word, motherfucker. I took this off. I said, motherfucker. I got out of the car with the cane and I chased him. He jumped over the fencing of the road, and yeah, I did say afterwards. I said, because he kept saying me, nigga, you N-word. So then I came out. I said, you N-word. He called me that so many bloody times. So then I had to give one back. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad, does it? Yeah, it seems quite equal, doesn't it? Not equal at all, because guess who was behind me? The police. Two, was it one? Not the car behind, but behind the car that was behind me was a police van. And they heard what I said. They saw me with a big stick and saying, I only said it once, because he said it to me so many times. So then what happened was, the policeman came out and he said, oh, so what happened? I said, you saw what happened? He said, yes, I did. And I thought, no, don't go there. I said, this guy, I explained everything to him. And I said to him, look what he did to the car. There's a big dent in the car. He thrust this thing, you know, at me. And, you know, I parried it a few times. And I said, I've got a witness. And you know, she said, yes, that's what happened, you know. And like, she's West Indian. Or she is still West Indian. So it's inside the mind of that, he's an English policeman, there can't be any thought of the R word, racism, because I'm with her. But because he heard what I said afterwards, only said it once, you know, he must have thought, oh, this guy, you know. So I just explained the problem. I said exactly what happened. You know, the initial, you know, he was jaywalking, what he did before, he was asking people for money, and the abuse that he hurled at me. He thrust this thing at me. I said, obviously he's a, you know, person on the street. And then when the police caught him, they found out, yes, he's just a person in the street, and he couldn't pay back. He couldn't pay back all the damage. So I had to pay, you know, with my own money. You know, and I thought, well, that's okay, you know. The reason why I thought it was okay is still to come. Because okay, I'll tell you what happened. So the police, he said, you know, what happened? And he said, why was he hitting you? I said, I don't know, he's crazy. But also he's calling me the N-word. And he said that I called him the N-word. And I said, I didn't call him anything. I said to him, the road has to be bigger for you to do that shit, whatever. And I said, either he thought I said the N-word instead of bigger, or it's just using it as an excuse. And I said, I've got a witness here. I didn't say that word. So, you know, and you know what he said? Oh, that changes everything. And I said, hang on, I put 2 and 2 together and I got fucking 20. I got 20. I said, what do you mean that changes everything? He said, well, when you came out of the car, I heard what you said. But I've got a witness here to tell you, he said that to me about 3 times or 4 times. He said he's going to kill me. He thrust this thing on my head, you know. So I said, let's say for argument's sake, not me, but another person uttered that word. Let's say, does it warrant someone trying to kill you? Because you just said that changes everything. What does it change? And he just shut up. I was more angry with that bloody white policeman than with the black guy. With the black guy, I forgot about it. You know, a guy on the street, maybe he's got mental problems. He overheard, or he did it on purpose. He just wants to let his frustration out on someone. He picked the wrong person. But yeah, so I don't know. Later, I saw this guy again, and another black guy, a young black guy, was chasing him, and he jumped on top of a car and dented the top of the car. So maybe they had a fight between, I don't know, themselves over drugs, because the area, there's lots of drugs. I think there were 2 crack houses on that road. It's horrible. And one day, like, there was that girlfriend of mine. She said she walked down this road, only one road away from that road, and she said she saw a man shoot another man on the shoulder, and the guy was walking behind her, and then as she walked past, she just turned around and this guy shot someone. Was it in the shoulder? Like, it didn't kill them. And so I went to that local police station. I said, look, my girlfriend, doesn't want to talk about it, but I'll talk on her behalf. She saw a shooting. A man was shot in the shoulder on this road. You know, he said to me, he asked me, he said, which one was it? I said, which road? He said, no, which shooting was it? There was more than one shooting on that road on that day. There were 2 shootings on that road. I thought, bloody hell. And I spoke to the guy, you know, he's English guy who lives in the countryside. He said, I wouldn't live here, mate. He said, if I were you, I said, don't worry, I'm going to be leaving soon. This was years ago. 2 shootings on one road. Which one? So anyway, going back to this police officer, I was so angry. I was more angry with him than the guy who smashed dented the passenger's side, thrust me with this, I'm not sure what it was, some pipe, you know, and I just moved my level up. I got angry and I thought, okay, if you think the vibe is like this, you think you're crazy, I'll show you what crazy is. You don't want to know what crazy is. So I came out of the car, like, really, really in, just for a second though, like in a nutty mode. I had that stick. I smashed through the door and went after him. I just made that action, you know, and he realized, you know, and he jumped over and he ran away. Yeah, but the thing is, the police were behind and they saw what I did, they heard what I said, and that's it. They didn't hear what he said before, they didn't see what he did. And even though I've got a witness, she's a West Indian girl, and she said, yes, this is what happened. He still said that changes everything. How brainwashed these guys are. They're unbelievably brainwashed, the police, you know. And you know, they talk about the police being woke nowadays. They were woke years ago. This was years ago in London. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's my story. It's a true story. And yeah, another nutty person. You know, a lot of these stories, you know, you've got black guys, and it may sound like, oh yeah, all these black guys are troublemakers, but that's not the case. The case is that I live in a black area, so predominantly, Brent is predominantly, I think it's predominantly black, or really high, like 50%, or I think it's more. So, you know, the percentages are going to be higher of people in the street that maybe have got no money or mental health problems or whatever. Bloody hell, I used to meet all of them. I think I met all of them. I tried to avoid them. You know, the only way you can avoid that situation is if the guy's jaywalking, just let him jaywalk and just walk. Basically, they want respect, and even if they're doing something illegal or they're doing something that they shouldn't do, they still want respect. And I didn't give him the respect because he's walking slowly on the road. He didn't give me respect. He wants me to slow down for him, but it's a stupid reason to get into an altercation. The thing is, I didn't think it was going to become an altercation. I said, yeah, you need to, the road needs to be bigger for you to do that, because it's a small road. I'm trying to say it's not the bloody motorway where I can go round you. I have to physically stop. Yeah, so that's my my incident when the guy attacked me inside my own car. Yeah, but I gave him what for? Well, I didn't give him anything, but yeah, after that, the police caught him, and then I'm not sure if he admitted to it, but I had to pay all the damages because he didn't have any money. He was on the street, and I said, no, that's okay. It's not that expensive. And I did have money at the time. But as I said, I was more pissed off with the police than I was with that man. You know, it's like, it's as if I'm the criminal. It's as if I was the criminal. The guy smashed the car, tried to thrust this thing on my head. He called me the N-word about 3 or 4 times, which I don't care. But he said, I'll kill you. And the MF. The MF is worse than the N-word for me. But the thing is, you can't see what's going on inside the car. He can see that, but he should have seen what was going on. All he saw is me coming out with my bag, bloody like nuts, or really angry, you know, with my dad's cane, and then saying, "You are," and then that word, and the guy jumping over. That changes everything. Those words are like, they're still ringing in my head after like years. That changes everything. So I said to him, you know, hypothetically, if somebody said that, what you're saying is it warrants a person trying to kill you. That changes everything. What? Yeah, God knows what the police are like now in London. They must be ultra woke. I mean, it's nice to have police that are, you know, not so brutal like in some countries. Okay, fair enough, but I think they're, I don't know. The police are good, yes, but I think this woke stuff, you know, is going to backfire, because you can't treat people like that. I was a victim, basically. I'm not a victim at all. I turned him into a victim. I'm not going to be a victim. Someone attacking me, hey, attack me. You tried to make me a victim. You tried to make me, and I was nice to him. Open hand gestures. No, I was parrying. No, and he saw that as a weakness. I said, please, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, then I said, okay, sorry. You know, I tried to acknowledge him. Maybe he's crazy. I gave him all the chances, and he had that energy up here, really angry, until I came out, mother, smashed through the door, and that energy, you know, started to generate brain activity, you know. And then he realized that he was dealing with someone more crazy than him. Anyway, so that's my story. Yeah. And that's a true story. Some people are going to say, oh, it's made up. No, I don't think so. You can see how animated I am. You know it's a true story. It's the real story. I wish it never happened. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for listening. And I'm just going to go to the clinic. I'll speak to you guys another time. Have you guys had any similar experiences? Let me know. And have a nice day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Have a nice evening if you're watching this in the evening. And yeah, be safe, love each other, set goals, chill out, do good things for yourself. This is what I'm in the process of doing. You know, I talk about mental health and how it's affected me, but I'm also gonna make some videos about goal setting and hopefully show you guys how I'm moving out of this rut, hopefully. All right, thank you very much. Speak to you guys later. Bye.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave. side. Have me by your side when the sun sets.